Hello, everybody. This is Bugsy Prime here. I'm gonna review something for a change. So, not Bugsy No Name, Bugsy Prime. And if anybody who hasn't watched this knows that there's an actual difference, you haven't been watching a lot of these videos, haven't you, pal? You barely know what's going on, and yet you're watching this, hoping to understand what the fuck is going on here. I don't know what else to tell you. Just either A, you can watch this, get more confused, or you can look at the back catalog of videos and go from there. Your choice. Dealer's choice. Anyways, back to the good shit. So, y'all want me to talk about the fedora. Well, the fedora it started out as cartoony shit, then to noir shit, now it kind of hybrid to both of those. Now watch the boss's video about all the introductory stuff. But if you want to hear it from me, the fedora is cool. He literally does have the same kind of he does have the same kind of mask that the mask has. So the way that works is that Dark Horse, Dirk and Davis, they had to ask Dark Horse to literally ask them, can they use the concept, and they showed a proof of concept of what this could be. So the fedora has ties to the Dark Horse universe, kind of a joint thing. Ergo, the only addendum was that they wanted a crossover with the mask, at least one. So that's what they got. So basically, the fedora deals with Dr. Chroma. It deals with Dr. Chroma, but I'm here to talk about the musical. I'm here to talk about the musical comic. Now, a lot of people didn't like the musical comic, and I can tell you that I get it. There's a lot of stuff. Dirk and Davis told me there's a lot of stuff they had to cut because they couldn't make it too long. So there's only at least 2 or 3 songs in the whole comic, and no, this is just me reviewing a comic. This ain't really the boss's part of his video. It's a way for all of you guys to get kind of immersed into the universe. It was kind of his plan, and it was my plan and his plan. So, So there's a lot of stuff. I guess the one thing I dug was the Darkness of the Bleeding Moon. The Darkness of the Bleeding Moon was the most serious one, because at that point the fedora has only fought the evil villain of the week, or maybe a void cultist here and there. But we literally deeply entrench ourselves into the occult in this. And it was, when I read it, I was like, oh my god, the artwork was fucking insane. I can't really show it to you. Alternate universe comics don't really show up well in ours. But I'm telling you, this shit was out of this world. It was fucking amazing. The part where the fedora has to fight the bleeding moon itself. He literally punches a moon. I mean, yeah, I punched a moon too, but the moon wasn't eldritch. What I was doing. The moon was an eldritch being. For those of you that don't look at H.P. Lovecraft, I understand this is really either A, over your head, or you're like, what the fuck is even any of this? Well, sunshine, if you just let me talk for a minute, you'll actually hear something. Now sit down, eat your cookie, or or I'll send you Jiro up in here. Either way. So basically, yeah, he punt like he starts fighting the moon, and the moon slams him back on the cartoon town. And if he didn't have that mask, he would have been dead. He made like it was like a big critter. It was like a big ass splash page that just shows a giant crater. Like it takes up 2 pages. Like it was fucking amazing, but yet so bizarre at the same time because the moon, it's bleeding. It's like actually bleeding, dudes. He's like really trying to fight this thing, and it's like almost impossible. Like he was able to fight. He was able to fight off the various cults of the Bleeding Moon, which it isn't in the boss's notes. But I'll tell you this: the cultists were creepy. It's like I don't know. It's like Dirk and Davis were possessed when they wrote it. The Fedora still wins, of course, but the moon was defeated. But it all felt too easy. The cultists actually disappear too, and we're kind of left with this, with the Fedora, after probably dealing with the moon and probably seeing God knows how many like visions of this moon, like going into his head, showing him shit, just literally on the rooftop, just stoic. Not really heavy they destroyed the thing, but there's a sense of dread there. A sense of dread that creeps ever so slowly, ever so closely. It's really, what I'm telling you, it's really good stuff. And then we get Bubsy's comic, which since they both are in the same place, they're both in the same universe. So Bugsy deals with his own cosmic horror. Probably a byproduct of the Bleeding Moon, who knows. This one didn't really have a name. But I want to call it, since Dirk and Davis didn't really give it a name, I'm gonna call this thing the emptying. Bugsy defeats it pretty handily, making jokes, doing his usual. You know, the crowd likes it. Everybody really digs the darkness of the Bleeding Moon. I like it because again, Eldritch horrors, guys. It was actually some good shit. You know, the Fedora basically fighting against a Lovecraftian entity, and the freaking poem. We rise again. We rise again. We'll see you once. We'll rise again. We'll see you twice. Soon, everything shall come with a price. For in the end, we're all just mice. And for some reason, when I read that, it sent a chill down my fucking spine, folks. And the poem is like a prophecy from what I gathered from the Mirai Universe, and I looked at the forums. There's been a hint in every new Fedora Chronicles that the Bleeding Moon, whatever ritual the cultists were doing, it's not done. Like the Bleeding Moon, it got stopped, but it's not over yet. And I gotta tell you, after doing hero stuff for like a few months, like literally, you know, when it comes to saving dubs, which gotta be real, I'll save dubs every time. Trust me, guys. You don't want him to elaborate on that shit. Fuck you, Sakamoto. No one wants you to elaborate, bro. We already get it. We get it. We don't want you to go and do a soliloquy about it. I could. Fuck no. So you got you laughing, didn't I? It's because of your goddamn face. Always. Anyways, folks, the boss wanted to do a full thing, but I said, give me one of the, let me grab one of the issues and let me read it, and then I make a little review of it. The Bugsy review is just kind of your standard fare. Because the boss will touch on the treasure stuff and the Bugsy stuff, but pretty much the standard fare of just Bugsy comics. Bugsy makes jokes, runs into a villain, and fights it with his puns and making jokes and all this other stuff, and it pretty much works. Everybody seems to love it, and you know what? I like it too. It's pretty good. But yeah. So, oh yeah, and we have this pretty cool off-panel segment. We have this pretty cool off-panel segment where Bugsy and the Fedora basically just kind of there's like a three or four or 5 pages dedicated to them just kind of talking about the shit that they experienced. Bugsy didn't look like he was actually scarred, but yeah, that thing probably sent him a bunch of images, a bunch of incomprehensible images too. So they're kind of tense. But Bugsy makes a joke, and they literally try to just kind of de-stress while they're drinking their coffee. They're just distressing. Which I really think is a good thing, because man, if you had to deal with Lovecraftian horrors and slipping into madness, which probably they were close, they didn't look like, I looked at the panels, and it really looked like they were about to. And I was like, oh, are they gonna, it's like the madness of the Bleeding Moon gonna affect them, or something gonna happen? But no, nothing does. Well, not anything we can see, at least. Because Dirk and Davis have been leaving hints that it's not over. They want to make sure. And the Bleeding Moon arc in the Mirai Universe, this was like years ago, but they're still leaving hints to say that it's still going on in the background. It's still going on. Where are the cultists? We don't know. Where are the cultists? We don't know. When the Bleeding Moon disappeared, it didn't really get destroyed, it just disappeared. It like phased out of existence. We don't know where it is. But it isn't over. The moon will bleed once again. Everybody in the Chaos Portal forums, we don't really know when it's gonna happen. Well, in the comic. Trust me. If there's a Bleeding Moon in my universe, I'm handling it. But not the point. Anyways, so what do I think of the darkness of the Bleeding Moon event? It's good. It's actually kind of spooky, but not too scary, but like close. But like that eldritch horror scary where you're just like, you can't fathom the actual fear of a bleeding moon and the tentacles and what it all means. It's like it compounds in your head over and over and over. It feels like that. It's that kind of spooky. The kind of spooky that really affects your very soul. And I gotta hand it to my bros, Dirk and Davis. They did a good job here. Being a guy who likes a little H.P. Lovecraft, trust me, I've read Call of Cthulhu a bunch of times. A bunch of times, man. So, yeah, it was pretty good, I would say. And I'm just kind of going down. I'm going down the list of. I am literally going down the list of like all the other Fedora Chronicles stuff. Disregard the background noise, folks. We just deal with people that are really really noisy, so we just do these. But back to but back to it. If I have one last thing I want to say here, I got one last thing I want to say here. This the Fedora Chronicles. None of you can really read. None of you can go to where I go and read it. It's from a different universe, so it you guys can't because me and the middleman made sure like no one can read otherworldly books except for me and the others because yeah, guys, do you understand how many like creepypasta universes are like in the Zeta Omniverse? We really can't allow people to just get books and stuff because they could be SCPs, they could be creepypastas. We don't want anything to get into our world, so we kind of just have to just make sure. And I know that sucks because you're like, well, Bugsy, you can't let us all just like have. You can't let us all not be able to read other books from other worlds. Well, yeah, but we gotta like test them first. And I am starting a new special program for that. So that way we test the book and see if it has any malevolent shit. We take care of it. If it doesn't, it's free for people to read. It's something I wanted to work with Dirk and Davis on personally because honestly, y'all should read the Fedora Chronicles and read the Bubsy comics because honestly, I read a few of those and there's not a lot of them, but they're good as hell. I know in our universe, in the boss's universe as well, y'all don't like Bubsy. I get it, but Bubsy is freaking good in this universe because someone actually understood. Wait a minute, Bubsy's good if you actually put him with somebody he can play off of, whether it's a villain or the Fedora. But that is neither here nor there. I shall be getting out of here now before any more background noise decides to plague this video. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace, everybody, and remember, the Bugsy Council is taking a break for now. But I'm always gonna be around, folks, and also Mr. No Name shall be around as well. But mostly, I'll be around. But me, since we don't have to do anything right now, and we're running reconnaissance on a certain enemy, I get to take me a break. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.